Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight he's a writer, producer, actor, and director, Michael Leavy. How's it going, Michael?
Awesome. I'm honored to be on the show. This time in a longer format. Last time I saw you was at Days of the Dead, but we had a great time and a great discussion, and I'm looking forward, and thank you for having me on.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I had a blast meeting you at Days of the Dead. Now, let's talk about your film that everybody's talking about that's coming out, Stream. Tell me a little bit about Stream.
Sure. We decided a few years ago, before we were shooting Terrifier 2, in between both Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2, that we wanted to do something different. We wanted to make a more modernized slasher film and kind of bring it into the 21st century, and that's exactly what we accomplished and what we're doing with Stream. It deals a lot with, obviously, these things, cell phones, computers, and the digital age. And the way we kind of came about this idea and why we wanted to kind of exploit it is because every horror film starts with something that everyone is familiar with, but also has a level of unknown to it. And, Jaws did it with A Day at the Beach and, made something everybody does that's relatable and, but still touches about with the water and kind of exploited that. Psycho did it with The Shower, Nightmare on Elm Street with Your Dreams, Halloween with The Neighborhood, Jason, Friday the 13th, Camp Crystal Lake. So, we said, what is something that everyone, utilizes today and everyone does, but also has some reservations about? And we kept hitting on the technology, the cell phones, the internet, and all that sort of fun stuff.
That's pretty good. You also got Damien Leone working on the special effects, Philip Falcone as well, and also David Howard Thornton. That's a great group of people.
Yeah, we tried to keep as much of it as we could in-house. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a part of the Terrifier family and the Terrifier franchise at this point. And, we brought Damien on, great friend, love working with him, obviously, on Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2. And he's just the new master of horror as far as I'm concerned. And his special effects are second to none. He's, learned from the guys like Cervini, watching them, Rick Baker. He's self-taught, but he studied these guys. And he really is incredible at what he does. So when we knew that we wanted to do a lot of gore and practical effect stuff, we knew there was no one else to turn to other than Damien. So Damien and Phil both do the special effects and all the gore and all the blood in our film. Phil's also a producer as well. So is Damien. And David Howard Thornton gets to play someone else other than Art the Clown or the Mean One. He gets to showcase his talents once again in Stream, and we're really excited for everyone to see what he does different. David brings a swag to the character that not many people can. So he's got such a unique style to his performance and his acting. So I was really, really happy with what he did, and I'm really excited for audiences and fans of his to see what he's got cooking.
Another cool thing about it too is, since I've been following you on social media, there's a lot of people cosplaying as some of the Stream characters, and the film hasn't even came out.
It's so bizarre, man. Yeah, believe it or not, we've seen some cosplay, and we've also seen some ink, some tattoos, which is really, really cool and really fun and really bizarre. There's someone who has a Stream tattoo. They have one of the players on their arms, and again, it just drives us even more to not let our fans down. We have a wonderful fan base that was established with the Terrifier franchise, as well as some of the other projects that we've worked on. The Pennywise Story of It documentary, the Robert Englund Hollywood Dreams and Nightmare documentary, film we did with Tyler Mane, Penance Lane, as well as Abnormal Attraction, which is another horror comedy fantasy film we did. So we've really been slowly building our fan base, really from the days of when we used to do things on YouTube and parodies like Halloween 60, if anybody remembers that or have seen that, the spoof on the Halloween 2018 trailer. So, we take pride in our fan base, and we want to make sure that we don't let them down. And look, they're coming out in the droves, and they're supporting us before the film's even out, and that's just amazing.
I think so too, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Have you started filming it?
Yeah, actually, we completed. The whole movie is done and in the can. And we're very proud of it. And we got a wonderful cast from Jeffrey Combs from The Reanimator, Danielle Harris from the Halloween franchise, obviously Hatchet, Tony Todd, Dee Wallace, Tim Reed, Daniel Roebuck from The Munsters, Felissa Rose, Dave Sheridan, Mark Holton from Leprechaun. I mean, we have and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, rest in peace to Paul Rubens. And We got a really amazing, fun cast. Damien Maffei from The Haunt and Wrong Turn. So the cool thing about it is, although we have a lot of genre stars and a lot of people who, we know as horror fans will deliver, the story isn't based on just the names that are in the film. We really made sure that this film is driven by the story and, the unique concept. And that's kind of what drove all of these people to want to jump on and be a part of the project. And that's the most proud I think I am of the whole thing.
That's pretty cool. Is there going to be a lot of blood and gore?
Of course. Listen, you got Damien Leone and Phil Falcone and Fuzz on the Lens all together again. What do you think? We can't let our fans down. Obviously, everyone knows us from the Terrifier franchise. Again, I will preface this. It's not Terrifier. This is a totally different film. It's a totally different feel and mood and atmosphere. But, we got to deliver on the goods, and we got to really bring the gore and the creative kills for sure.
That's pretty cool. Now let's talk about Philip Falcone. I had him. Did an interview with him, and he spoke very highly of you and your brother. How'd you guys actually meet Philip before you guys were part of the Terrifier universe?
Yeah, so we do volunteer work at the old age home, and no. So a few years ago, before Terrifier 1, we were working on our film called Abnormal Attraction, and for anybody who've seen of it or wants to know more about it, it's a fairy tale fantasy horror comedy based film where monsters are real and humans have a weird obsession over them. It's got a lot of really cool themes of race and segregation, but at the same time, it's a really fun 80s, 90s campy style film. And it's got a great cast, Malcolm McDowell and Gilbert Gottfried, the late Gilbert Gottfried, Tyler Maine's in it, Leslie Easterbrook. So we had met Phil on that project. One of our sound people and producers, Jason Milstein, brought Phil down. He says, I got this producer friend, and he's working on this movie called Joe's War with a really great cast, Tom Sizemore, Ed Asner, Amanda Sante. And he goes, would you guys be interested in meeting him? I says, yeah, of course, bring him down. So he came down to the set one day, and we had it was a really cool set that he came to. We had a whole monster village that we had hand-built ourselves in the middle of the woods. And Phil came down and really dug what we had been doing and, thought it was really clever and creative. And he asked us to come help him on his film, Joe's War. So we did. Damien actually was working on that film as well, doing some of the special effect work. And little by little, it was actually Phil's son who started talking to me about All Hallows Eve and Art the Clown. He said, have you ever heard of Art the Clown? I said, no, and I'm a huge horror fan. I had not at the time. And he said, my father is going into doing this movie with Damien Leone, the guy who's doing the effects, and it's called Terrifier. And, he was just pitching to me, and then Phil started talking to me about it, and, he said, we'd love to get you guys on this when we start shooting. Fast forward, somehow, some way, it all came together. Myself, my brother Jason, and our business partner Steve got involved, and we ended up getting roles as well in the first Terrifier. I play Will the Exterminator. I get decapitated. You could kind of see a little bobblehead thing here.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool bobblehead.
Yeah, so and they played the cops, and we kind of just hit it off, myself and our team, obviously, and Phil and Damien and George Stuber, the DP, and it was just like we've known each other for years, and now we have, but at the time, it was just a connection right from the beginning. And we got closer and closer and really became best friends. And then it came time to do Terrifier 2. And, the relationship and everything just grew stronger. And then we did stream. And here we are prepping for Terrifier 3.
That's pretty awesome about Terrifier 3 coming out with a bigger budget. Damien Leone, he's well deserved for that, and I hope he tops it out than the first two with more blood and gore and maybe an interesting kill that we've never seen on the screen. He probably has a wild imagination. So when you guys did Terrifier 2, did you think it was going to explode in popularity?
So we knew we had something special with the movie. From the moment I read the script, I remember saying, wow, this could be something really awesome. But also at the same time, being the assistant director on that, I said, how the hell are we going to do this? Especially with the budget that we had. But, Damien says, look, this is the wishful script. This is the wish list script. and we'll see where we end up. One thing I'm really proud of is that we shot 99% of what was in that script, and that's what you see on the screen. So that was really cool. I'm always excited to see what Damien comes up with next and what he wants to do. I know some of the stuff that he's going to do in Terrifier 3, and it's going to blow everyone's minds, man. It's some really, really cool, crazy stuff, and I'm really excited and honored just to be on the ride.
That's pretty awesome. Has he started filming it yet?
No, we haven't yet. He's still finishing up the script, and once that's done, then we'll go into production. But right now, obviously, we can't do anything with the strike that's going on, so we're monitoring that closely. And in the meantime, just lining up all the ducks in a row to get ready to shoot.
Yeah, let's talk about your brother, Jason. He's an interesting guy. He's the one that talked me into getting a Sienna tattoo right on my arm before the Terrifier 2 ever went to the theaters. What was I thinking?
Well, you know what? Look, it worked out. It's the same thing with the guy with the stream tattoo, except we didn't even tell him to do that. He just did that on his own, which was crazy. But it's just like your question before was, did we expect it to blow up? And, we knew we had something special. We knew it was really cool. But you can never know that it's going to go to that extent. I just kept telling people, even people who didn't like Terrifier 1, I just would say, wait till Terrifier 2. It's a much bigger movie. It's very ambitious, and I'm very proud of it. But again, you don't know how the audiences are going to react. You just know that you poured your heart and soul into it, and you did the best that you could, given all the circumstances. Did we expect it to be well received by our fan base? Yes. I'd be lying to you if I said no, because we knew that we were making this movie for our fans, but did we expect it to go as big as that explosion mushroom cloud went? No, that was just unbelievable and very surreal and amazing. So then to piggyback to Jason, I can't believe he convinced you to go get the Sienna tattoo, but honestly, you're the first one, right?
Yes.
And she's a badass. I mean, Sienna is the new final girl, and she is everything that a final girl should be, and then some. Lauren Levera really kicked ass, and Damien Leone really wrote a wonderful character.
Yeah, so when Jason talked me into getting it, I talked to Jason. I was like, what do you think Lauren would think if I had her character inked on my arm? And he's like, why don't you go ask her and see what she says? I'm going to ask her and see if she gives me my blessing before I get it. So I hit up Lauren. I was like, hey, Lauren, would it be okay if I have Sienna, inked on my arm? She's like, oh my gosh. She goes, that would be an honor. And so when she said that was her blessing. So that's how I got it.
That's amazing. Let's see it. Show everybody. Let's see it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so cool. And that's a great shot, too.
Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to be seeing Lauren at Whorehound this weekend. So I'm going to show her it and see what she has to say about that.
Tell her that the tattoo artist almost made a mistake and started doing the alternate version of Jason in the costume, and see what she says. Jason had put that whole suit on, and it's so funny. The side story with that was she was obviously in that costume every day, and it was like a secret of what Sienna looks like and what she's going to be in the armor and stuff. And then one day, Jason put the suit on and the wings, the everything. And it was so funny. I mean, it totally couldn't fit into it, but we took a picture. And the day the first image of Sienna dropped, which this was like the introduction of Sienna to the world. This is what we want everyone to see. Lauren had dropped that behind the scenes photo, and it was just like, oh my God, couldn't you wait a little longer now that everyone has this image of Sienna? And then they got Jay, but Jason really rode that, said he was the first cosplayer of Sienna. So,
hey. He was looking kind of sexy in that outfit.
Yeah, not bad, right? Not bad. I don't think he could fit into it today, I'll tell you that much.
There's no way. But Lauren will always be Sienna compared to Jason. He could just be like her like stunt double or stunt person. Here, take the kill.
I don't even know if he could do that.
That was pretty wild because I remember him joking about that. He's like, "Won't you get me tattooed on there?" I was like, "No, I'll just get the right one. How about you get yourself tattooed in the Sienna armor?"
So funny, so funny. Well, that's awesome, man. The tattoo looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. Also, you guys been doing like tons of conventions, the whole Terrifier group. It just seems like you guys are having a lot of fun. So have you met some interesting con goers and some crazy ones?
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, we love everyone that we come across. Obviously, there's some very interesting people you meet along the way. But then, a lot of people become family, and you only get to see them when you do the convention. So every time a certain show comes around, it's nice to see them again and to catch up. It really becomes a big family. Like I said, I'm just honored to be a part of it. Every time that I get to do a show or go away or go somewhere new or different, it's always a good time. And obviously, when I'm with the Terrifier group, we just have a blast. I'm sad to not be being there for the Horror Hound this weekend. After the Days of the Dead, I ended up taking a little bit of a break from doing the cons just to get Stream finished and kind of get that marathon finished up and ended so this way it could come out sooner than later. So I haven't done one since then. I stopped by one of the conventions just as a fan, just to visit. That's when I saw the cosplay person there, which was pretty cool. But I have some that are contacting me now for the fall to start back up again, so that'll be fun.
That'd be pretty cool. So are you going to take Stream through all the film festivals before it goes streaming?
We're right now negotiating all of that kind of stuff. We're talking to different distributors, and we'll see what route it takes us. We're definitely open to the idea of doing a few festivals, but again, we don't want to kind of oversaturate the film by doing too many. So we definitely are going to be selective in what we do and how we release this thing. So we're going to do what's best for the film and everybody involved, but definitely be on the lookout for some news in the coming weeks and months.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get my physical copy to, go with my physical media library. Because I support physical media. So do you think? So do you think physical media is still going to be around for a little bit, or do you think streaming's going to run all over it?
I think everything is encyclical, and I think digital media won't fully go away because of people like us. Obviously, it's dying down a little bit, but the way to save it is if you offer something on the digital that you cannot get through the streaming. I think that's what's going to keep it around, like behind the scenes stuff and, extra cuts and extra things like that you just won't get from the streaming. Personally, I like digital too. I like physical too, because I like owning and the hard copy, knowing it's mine. The streaming is just kind of out there in the world, in the universe. And hey, if Amazon goes out of business or Netflix or any of these things, you don't have it anymore. You don't really own it. I know you may have bought it and paid the money for it, but you don't really own it. You know what I mean? If you can't hold it and say, hey, it doesn't matter if anything goes out of business, I still have it. So that's always scary. So I think it'll be around to some extent. But it's just because of the ease of the digital age that is why they kind of slipped away, and also the space of the storage kind of thing. But
I think so too. I'm like you. I like to have the copy because when you see your favorite movie on the streaming service, you don't know if it's been edited, altered, or cut a certain way. So,
and a lot of them are, believe it or not. I know filmmakers who release a film and then change it and release it digitally or update it, and you won't know if you're not really familiar with the film. So, there's something about that makes it special where it can't be. It's like that's how it was released, that's how it was meant to be. So, I'm a big fan of the physical, and I think again is just kind of adding things to the DVDs and the Blu-rays and stuff to make the fan bases and the people to want to buy them, which will keep them around.
That's pretty awesome. So, is there any other upcoming projects Fuzz on the Lens is going to be doing right after stream?
Yeah, we're working on another project that has a great cast. Danielle Harris actually is in this one as well, and Tony Todd and Dee Wallace. So we kind of reunited with the three of them. Andrew Devoff is involved. It's directed by a buddy of mine, Greg Van Voorhees, produced by the whole family, the Van Voorhees family, Nikki, Nicole, the sister, and their mom. It's called The Pitchfork Retreat, and it's we're going to be shooting that soon. And it's a really, really fun, interesting, crazy, bizarro script. And I'm excited to be a part of it. It's something different. And again, it's nice to do things with friends and just to keep working. So we're doing that. And I'm also working on something with a buddy of ours who's also a part of the Stream franchise, and also part of Terrifier, Marcus Slabine. We're doing a project with him, an anthology series project. I don't know if I could talk about the name of it yet, but it's got a great cast as well, and so that's something else we got cooking, obviously, beyond Stream and Terrifier 3, and hopefully eventually, fingers crossed, Stream 2.
Oh, hey, you know that's going to end up happening because I have a feeling Stream is going to, get a huge following like, the Terrifier films. Because, Damien, everybody's in it, so, everybody's going to want to see it, So do you think indie horror right now is on fire right now, like more popular than the mainstream horror that you see?
I do. I do, actually. And, I think it's a special time for indie horror. I mean, look, independent horror now are getting a ton of releases theatrically. When was the last time that ever happened? The 80s, 90s, early 90s?
Yeah.
So now that that's happening, that's really cool. So we get to be exposed, and normal, more mainstream, generalized audiences are able to, kind of pick up on these little gems and these little independent horrors that they might not have. Just look at, I wasn't a fan of it, but Skinamarink and what that had done, the Winnie the Pooh, the Mean One, obviously Terrifier 2 kind of opened the floodgates for everything. And we're just honored to have ushered in the independent filmmakers, because that's what we are first and foremost, and that's where we have gotten started from, and that's what we're doing. So, independent horror, independent filmmaking in general is super important to just not only the industry, but also to the creativity and the growth of filmmakers. And this is where everybody gets their start. So I'm really excited for it. And I think you get the most unique storylines, because the studios are just so formulaic, where it's just like, this is how it's done, this is it. And it's almost predictable nowadays, whereas the indie, you could really take some risk because you don't have the big corporate guys over you kind of telling you and saying how it's done.
Yeah, I like indie horror because there's a lot of great stuff out there that finally, people are going to be checking out. And I think it's helping a lot, because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike, because, they deserve what they get. If the writers deserve what they get because they're the heart and soul of filmmaking. They make the actors look good on the screen in their writing. So I hope they get all what they deserve. I mean, it's the same as well as the actors, but I'm more of a supporter of the indie writers and, screenwriters.
They're important. They're super important. I mean, the writers are the people who are the unsung heroes of the industry.
Yep.
They come up with all the storylines. Look, the actors, I'm an actor as well, is you just give us the lines and we just, obviously you got to have talent and emote it, but you're not the ones coming up with it. The words are being given to you and what to say. So the writers are super important, and the writers are important also for big picture, which is where how to navigate, how to keep things interesting, how to keep things paced.
Yeah.
And this is an industry that really is a collaboratory industry. Not one person can make a movie. It takes an entire production team. We kind of get caught up where the director or the actor kind of gets the accolades, but in reality, it really is an army of people that make it work, and that's why certain films pop. It couldn't be done with just one or two people.
I think so too, and like I said, it takes a lot of heart and soul for you even to come up with the script, and I hope all the writers and actors deserve what they get because they deserve it. Because without them, there wouldn't be any good movies or any good TV shows or any good thing. I'd rather have some good writers writing a good movie or a TV series than watching all that crappy reality TV.
Yep, there'll probably be a lot of reality TV coming out soon because nothing's being made at the moment. But look, it'll get sorted out. It always does.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how long it takes. But I'm sure the writers and the actors will, get what they're looking for. And I think the studios also will be happy in the end with the deal, and everybody will be, everyone won't be thrilled, but everyone won't be upset, and that's usually a good deal.
Exactly. So where can everybody find you on social media to see what you're going to be doing next?
So it's pretty simple. Just follow Fuzz on the Lens. You could look at that anywhere, and then you could find all of our, personal ones as well. Michael Leavy, Fuzz on the Lens, Stream franchise. Those are really the main stuff. But again, Fuzz on the Lens, you'll find it all.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast, and it was good talking to you again.
It was. It was nice talking a little longer this time and not having to worry about all the ins and outs of the conventions and all the busyness. So it was nice to just take it easy and chat. And thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, anytime. And give a big hi to Jason.